National Health Mission Manipur amadi Directorate of Health Services Manipur anina kutsam naduna World Antibiotic Awareness Week 2019 November gi tang 19 dagina kungamari phawba Lamphel da leiba IMA Hall da pangthokre November gi tang 19 da World Antibiotic Awareness Week 2019 hokdopagi thoromda Professor A Santa Singh Director, Regional Institute of Medical Sciences Imphal na Chief Guest K. Rajo Singh, Director of Health and Family Welfare Services Manipur na President aduga H. Sauba Singh, Director, Veterinary and Animal Husbandry Services Manipur na Guest of Honor waina dais the Phomki. World Antibiotic Awareness Week 2019 ki keynote address da Dr. K. H. Ranjana HOD Department of Microbiology, RIMS and member AMR Technical Committee Manipur.
In tackling the problem of emerging antimicrobial resistance, this is an attempt to increase the awareness on antimicrobial resistance and understand the implications of the issue in the society and the catastrophe that we will be facing if we do not tackle the problem in time to save not only the future generation but the present generation as well. Infectious disease caused by the microbes is still remain one of the leading causes of that worldwide. Many of these infectious diseases are managed by giving or by administering antimicrobial drugs or antibiotics. But in the recent past, what the medical fraternity has been facing is an increasing population of microbes that have become resistant to the drugs, available drugs, and that translates to not only the increasing morbidity and mortality of the infected persons, but more important is its spread to the other populations and the spread of the resistant bacteria through environment and in the community. In the 1940s and 1950s, the mankind, we were so happy with the introduction of antibiotic penicillin by Alexander Fleming and his team, that includes Howard Florey, and in 1950s it was a golden era. This penicillin and these antibiotics, this was considered to be the magic bullet, and that has saved many soldiers during the World War. But then in Alexander Fleming himself, who received the Nobel Prize for the discovery of this antibiotic, penicillin, he himself, in his Nobel Prize acceptance speech in 1945, he had predicted antimicrobial resistance. He had said that, quote, "There is the danger that the ignorant man may easily underdose himself and by exposing his microbes to the non-lethal quantities of the drug, make them resistant," unquote. That was way back in 1945. He discovered it and he had predicted an AMR as well. So 1950s, it was considered to be a golden era, and there were many more new molecules of antimicrobials. And there was a close tie-up between the pharmaceutical companies who were doing research on antimicrobial drugs. There were many more molecules, and there was a close tie-up between these pharmaceutical companies and the medical fraternity with lots of enthusiasm for newer molecules. But then, as we all know, microbes are much more smarter than human beings.
Tauromadugi matangda guest of honor oina dais the Phomkiba Professor A. Santa Singh, Director, Regional Institute of Medical Sciences, Lamphel Part.
And that is very important. So where to use and when it's not necessary not to use the antibiotic. By using excessive antibiotics, may not be good to the society, or in fact may develop the resistance to the antibiotics. So when we wanted to treat when we really wanted to treat the necessary, and that antibiotic may be resistant to the patients, and we may not be able to save the patients. And very classically, Madam has told that when the penicillin was invented, it was really wonderful medicine. It saved so many lives, and person Alexander then got the Nobel Prize also. But then later on, he also predicted they may develop the resistance. So I think after that, I think chlorphenicol came, ceftriaxone, trimethoxazine came, and in our time, this ciprofloxacin was a magic for us, and slowly all of them are becoming resistant. In fact, I remember those when the Cifran from Rembexing company, ciprofloxacin came. At the same time, this time, cefotaxime also came, and it was so costly, but it was really magic. It was in around the 80s. We went to the ICU for a round, and there was a septicemia case, and we write the cefotaxime that patient. Ultimately, that patient has to sell the cow and bulls from their house, and then to buy. It was very costly, and it was cured. And we are very happy that, but then those antibiotics, when it come up, very costly and cured, but then some people must be doing research on that. Same thing happened with the clone, this one also.
Dr. H. Chauba Singh, Director, Veterinary and Animal Husbandry Services, Manipur.
My beloved classmate, my friend Shamsuddin, Additional Director, Health Services. Friends, he happens to be my classmate in DM College in the year 1974. First of all, I would like to congratulate National Health Mission and Directorate of Health Services Manipur for organizing this important function in such a very befitting manner. I congratulate you. To begin with, we know, friends, in this gathering, each and everybody knows what is antibiotics. What is antibiotic? Life against life. We know it. Literally, if a layman translate it, what is antibiotics? Life against life. So great deal of talk has been given by distinguished speakers in my predecessors. They have given very beautiful, very wonderful speech. They have given. But the ground reality is, you are treating, friends, you are treating human beings you are treating, and we are treating animals. And we have hundreds of zoonotic diseases, you know it. Many zoonotic diseases we have. Diseases which is communicable from man to animal, animal to man, vice versa. And in 2017 in World Veterinary Day, this antimicrobial resistance was taken as a theme of celebration in 2017. By giving this shows how important it is. This topic is the haphazard use of antibiotics, first generation, second generation, third generation, this and that, we know it. Science is advancing like anything. Like that, these microorganisms also advancing like anything. As Professor Ranjana has already mentioned that they are also becoming smarter and smarter than us. These microbes, they are also smarting. And normally what we are doing, if something happens, when you feel headache or when you feel pain, when you are struck by flu or by influenza or anything, normally we take analgesics, and people will say, take some antibiotic. They don't know much. We see friends, all are not doctors, they don't know much. All are not lawyers. We don't know these laws of the country, laws of the land. And when one suffers from some illness, then take some antibiotic. They don't know what is antibiotic. And taking some paracetamol or some analgesics, after that if the condition lingers, then take some antibiotic, something like it is then and done. And in animal treatment also, doctors prescribe for a course, take it for 7 days. Depending upon the severity of infection, take it for 14 days, take it for 5 days, something like that. They prescribe, you are also doing the same. And when the condition when someone is feeling well, then he stops taking it. After taking that antibiotic 3 days or for 3 days or 5 days or 2 days, after that he will stop taking it. Like that in animal treatment also, doctor will prescribe something. Some progressive or some intelligent farmers or entrepreneurs, they will follow the strict instructions, and the others, they don't normally follow it. And the parapets, they are also treating, they are also prescribing medicines and all that. And when some poultry was suffered, say for example, in poultry, in chicken, this we call it fowl typhoid. Fowl typhoid is caused by Haemophilus gallinarum bacterium. Haemophilus gallinarum. Then for that, tetracycline is the therapeutic agent. Tetracycline is sensitive. This Haemophilus gallinarum is sensitive to tetracycline. And when they prescribe, the farmers have given this drug, tetracycline, for 3 days. If the pulse recovers so soon, then he may stop it also sometimes. And this antimicrobial resistance is very common. These farmers, then they are also human beings. When treating the animal, they don't know how important it is. If he doesn't just prescribe it, keep it for the prescribed duration for this disease, something like that. But for this haphazard use of antibiotics, it must be stopped. But it's a big challenge for us, for both medical and veterinary. It is a big challenge. We have to make awareness of it. We have to make aware about these things. We have to enlighten the general public, farmers, laymen. Each and everybody is to be aware of all such things. But I am really happy and thankful to National Health Mission and the Director of Animal Health Services for inviting me and enabling me to attend in such an important awareness program.
Dr. K. Raju Singh, Director of Health and Family Welfare, Co-Chairman, Technical Committee, Manipur.
So antibiotics have served as the cornerstone of modern medicine since its discovery. But persistent overuse, misuse and underuse of the antibiotics have led to the emergence and the spread of antibiotic resistance.
we are observing this World Antibiotic Awareness Week to give awareness to all sections of population about the correct use of antibiotics and how to use, how long we have to use, and for what we have to use. Some actions have to be taken up to reduce the antibiotic resistance and to limit it to some extent. So now it is becoming a global problem. If we don't solve it in time, we will be in a danger. So some steps we can take up simply by the public. They have to take antibiotics only after prescription by the doctor or certified health workers. They cannot purchase blindly from the pharmacist. They cannot purchase from any source without a prescription of the doctor. And they cannot demand antibiotics. They cannot use they cannot share the antibiotics, and they cannot use the leftover antibiotics. And we have to control the infection by adopting the infection control and prevention measures. And we have to wash hand regularly. We have to vaccinate in time, including the animals, and try to avoid a direct contact with the patients. We have to use masks. We have to close the nose while sneezing. And safe practice of sex. And we have to handle the food carefully. We have to keep it at proper temperature. And we have to take the safe drinking water, betterment of sanitation and hygiene, etc. And the giving of the antibiotics to the animals is to be done under the supervision of the veterinary specialists. And we have to avoid the antibiotics for promotion, increased production, growth and reproduction, in plants. And we have to avoid the antibiotics for prevention of the infection in animals. Antibiotics are the substance, are chemical substances which are used for killing or slowing the infection or growth of the microbes like viruses, parasites, bacteria, fungus, etc. So we have to adopt recommended practice for food processing and food making from the food animals and plants. So we have to get the animals in a hygienic way, and we have to do some welfare for the animals. And from the policy side, we have to implement the National Action Plan for the antibiotic resistance, and we have to strengthen the surveillance. We have to report any antibiotic resistance to the surveillance team and we have to implement, strengthen infection prevention and control measures at all health centers and all the hospitals. And we have to teach the general public the correct use of antibiotics. And we have to make them aware about the danger and side effects of the misuse and the use of the antibiotics. So we are all responsible for the antibiotic resistance, and we have to work together. We have to do something for checking the antibiotic resistance. So I request the cooperation of all sections of the departments and the public for the slowing down or for prevention and for effective implementation of the control of the antibiotic resistance. Thank you so much.
Mayambu thagat wahi phongdokladuna Sam Kishore Sharma, a state microbiologist and coordinator AMR Technical Committee Manipur.
Honorable Minister, Health and Family Welfare, I consider it a great privilege to thank all the dignitaries who are witnessed today as a memorable event, observance of World Antibiotic Awareness Week, 18 November 2019, stand level program at IMA Holland Airport. Today, on behalf of Technical Committee at IMA Manipur, I would like to thank our today's chief guest, Professor A. Shanta, Director, Regional Institute of Medical Sciences, Manipur, who graced us with this event with care and dedications. And I would like to thank our President, Dr. K. Rajashree, Director Health Services, Manipur, for all your words of wisdom, and remain grateful to you, sir, and we thank you for being with us always.